This is Newtown Pride Square. It's the 8th of January, 8th of February 2025, and it's the Protect Trans Youth Rally in Sydney. Yeah, so it's like quite a lot of people. Lots of bubbles. A reasonable number of cops. Socialists. More cops. Some dancing as well going on over there. I'm going to get through here. There's a name for them, but I've forgotten at the moment. It's sort of the stage is over there, so I'll head over and get ready for the speeches. The mainstream media, SBS, the bodyguard. Yeah, there's quite a lot of people.
Leave my pitch alone, I was getting stuck.
We are going to kick off for this morning. Thank you everyone so much for being here. We are going to dive straight in with a welcome to country from the amazing Aunty Rhonda Dixon-Grovenor. Aunty Rhonda Dixon is a Gadigal and Yuin Elder, academic, cultural activist and spokesperson for environmental, social justice and human rights issues. And I want us to give her an amazing warm welcome.
Warrior, gorgeous, welcome my friends. Gadigal, the Gadigal land, one Benny, Inina, Bidjigal, Newtown, Bidjigal, Duck-Chong. Welcome to Gadigal land. My name is Aunty Rhonda Dixon-Grovenor. And I would first like to acknowledge the elders past, present and future, and any First Nations people here today, and of course everyone, every single person here, every precious human being here today that is unique and powerful and amazing. And I had to call the ancestors in when I did the calling, all our ancestors. Because we're here together on Mother Earth. And we have to look after Mother Earth and give thanks to Grandfather's Son every morning when he comes up, which I was taught by Uncle Matt Stormwoman Harrison, Yuin Sing the Lawman. He taught us so much about culture and spirituality. He said, niece, get up every morning before Grandfather's Son comes up and greet him. Put your arms out and greet Grandfather's Son and thank him for coming up every day and providing the warmth, the sun for the energy to grow the plants, the trees, the shade, to work with Grandmother Moon, who connects us women to the tides and the full moon. So here we are all together here today. I'm a Gadigal elder and traditional descendant of the Sydney area we're running around Circle Quay. Our women used to go out on the ocean down Circle Quay, the second deepest harbour in the world, go out in their nawies, in their bark canoes, and they'd make a little clay fire pit because they'd have their little children with them. And when they was fishing, they could pull that fish in and cook the fish for themselves and their children while on the canoe, on the nawi. So they didn't have to waste time to go to shore and that sort of thing. So my daughter Nadine Dixon is an artist, and She paints beautiful designs. I have one of her designs on today, which is the bogong moth, because she's Wiradjuri on the father's side. And so she paints our designs, our totems, and also the Wiradjuri side. So my mob are Sydney, Gadigal, Bidjigal people out at Larparoos, Durham people out Western Sydney, and the Yuin people on the far south coast of New South Wales. So my people have been here on this country for over 60,000 years. Pre-colonisation, my people were living in paradise because our mob used to travel and move around for the seasons so as not to deplete the soil and plant as they were going along. And when you fish, we only take enough for family or community because we know that we've got to look after Mother Earth and the oceans and the waters, because then they can look after us. I've got two little poems here. So I'm grandmother. I'm 74. I've got 16 grandchildren. And they're very precious. All children precious. We are all precious. So, poison words, blame, it's not good. Danger, don't go there. You are a decision maker, you make choices. Your thoughts and your energy are powerful. I'm really feeling the energy here today and how powerful you are. Direct your power wisely. Build the qualities up that help you and others to flourish. Rock up, dress up, be deadly, share your talents, share you, who you are. Get dressed up, stand up, talk up, show who you are. You are amazing. And that's why we're all here today. Because when you get people who try to control you, and we know this as First Nations people, when the colonisers came, they took our people away, they took the children away, put them in institutions, put my people in missions. My people out Larp are still on the mission, but without the mission manager, but still being controlled by the government. What we can and what we can't do. Always trying to control and make you something that they want you to be, not what you are. Always travel and follow your journey, follow your heart, follow your spirit, and be strong, proud, and deadly. We stand together in unity and love and strength and power, because that's who we are. Young, my darlings, my precious ones. Thank you.
keep going for Aunty Rhonda. And so you all have been so heartened heading into today with those amazing words. Thank you. We have an incredible lineup of speakers for you today. And also, I just want to acknowledge why we're here and that we're here today, which is because we all support and love trans people. Whether you're trans yourself, whether you're a family member or a friend or a loved one or an ally, I want everyone to look around them and the person next to them and smile at the people around you, because we are all here for each other today. And we are all here for trans people across this country, across the continent, and the world. Before we dive into another speaker, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. Bear with me while I do. It's a hot morning, so make sure we're looking after ourselves with some water and some sunscreen, keeping off the road wherever we can. We also do have some space around to my left, everyone's right around there, that has speakers and has shade and has some areas to sit. So if you do need a bit of a break or a space to sit down, there is plenty of spaces where you can still absolutely be part of the energy, but just be a little bit less in the sun. We're also going to be really respectful of one another today, as I know we always are. Not touching anyone without their consent, or taking photos of any minors or any people who've asked not to have photos taken of them, and just not sharing any photos of people, tagging them if they've not consented to that. And if you see anyone having a hard time, or if you're having a hard time, we have our amazing volunteers all around this space today, and they're high vis. Give them a yell, say hi, start a conversation. If there's anything that you need or anything that you want, we'll make sure you're looked after and all sorted. We've also got a medical station around the corner here, and some roving first aiders. So if you do need anything, again, just give a shout to our volleys and they will help you out. We do have today interpreted. If you do need interpreters, find your way down to the front as well. And we have a little bit of seating around to the side, so if anyone does need that, absolutely go ahead. But that wraps up our housekeeping today. We're going to jump into the rally. We're going to jump into our speakers. And I want to really bring our energy this morning as we welcome our next speaker. She leads an organisation that you might have heard of before that is working to build a powerful movement fighting for freedom, justice and equality for all transgender and diverse people. I reckon everyone's on board with that. Please make some noise for the director of the Trans Justice Project, Jackie Turnbull. Strongest mic stand ever. Alright, good start. How are y'all doing? When I say people, you say power. People! Power! People! Power! I say trans, you say justice. Trans! Justice! Trans! Justice! We deserve to thrive! We deserve to thrive! Fight for trans lives! Fight for trans lives! Alright! It is so bloody good to be here with you all today. Around the country, there are more than 20 actions happening in cities and towns across this continent. There are thousands of people coming out today and standing with the trans community. There are parents and children who are travelling hours to be in a place where they can stand with their community and the people that love them. There are more than 100 organisations that have endorsed this rally. We announced this day of action 9 days ago. It has been a huge effort to get us this far, and it's only possible because the community has rallied around the kids in Queensland and what they're facing. Allies, parents, trans youth and activists of all stripes are coming together to make this day possible and make this a really incredible show of people power and support for trans youth in Queensland. So my name is Jackie. I grew up on Yagara land in so-called Brisbane and now reside on Gadigal land, the people of the Eora Nation, and I'd like to pay my respects to elders past and present, and also extend my solidarity with the sister girl and brother boy communities across this continent as one of the oldest living cultures in the world and one of the oldest living cultures in the world.
Wherever we are, we walk on stolen lands. This continent was never ceded and sovereignty was never ceded. Make sure that you're looking at how you pay the rent and how you're honouring First Nations people wherever you are today. So, I'm out of breath already. Oh yeah, it's been a big morning, I gotta say. Getting up at 6 a.m. and sending out the media alerts and everything, but I have been seeing photos streaming in already from people doing banner paints, from people getting their communities together to book out spaces to find out how they can get speakers within only a couple of days' notice, and it's been inspiring to see people really jump at the chance to show their solidarity in this moment. We're all here today because the Queensland Government has announced that they will be blocking puberty blockers and gender-affirming hormones for trans youth under the age of 18. Yeah, sure. This is vital, life-saving and life-changing healthcare. Young people deserve to access it. We know that when people have access to the care they need, they are able to grow into healthy adults, they are able to build good lives for themselves, and they are able to thrive. That's what we want for our young people. So, when I was 12 years old, I remember I was standing around with a group of boys and they were talking about music that they liked. There was a guy who was like, oh, I'm really into Limp Bizkit, with those like huge shirts that they used to wear back in the 90s. Another guy was like, oh, I'm really into Eminem, with like, no shit, he was wearing like a huge Eminem shirt. Remember those ones that used to just have Eminem's face on them? Yeah, cool. And they were like, oh, what do you like? And I really confidently was just like, I love the Spice Girls. And I think many of us can relate to this moment where you realise that you've broken an invisible rule. The looks that they gave me, it was like turning towards me as if I just said the most abhorrent thing, and I didn't know what I'd said wrong. And I like tried to cover it and was like, oh, I also really like Enrique Iglesias. Which only made things worse. For those who are too young to know, Enrique Iglesias is probably the gayest pop star you've seen. There's a very famous video of him in a white shirt, in the rain, on his knees, he's crying. It's like, I always felt that there was something different about me. Even from a young age, I knew that there was something more to discover. But it took me until I was 28 years old for me to finally come out as a trans woman and start gender-affirming hormones. The reason why was because of the fear that I felt. That's why it took so long. I wasn't sure if I would be able to work. I wasn't sure if I would be able to have a career if I came out about who I was. I wasn't sure if my family or community members would accept me. And I also wasn't sure if my relationship would survive transition. I wasn't sure if the person I love would be able to see me in a new way. We all feel these fears in some way. They stop us living our lives to the fullest, and they stop us being truly ourselves. We know that when people are allowed to have the freedom to be themselves and be their authentic selves, it allows them to build good lives. It allows them to be happy and thrive. There is nothing wrong with the people, with trans people in our community. The struggles that we face are because of the discrimination and misunderstanding that we face from the public. Those are the barriers that are put in place for us. We deserve the same rights and protections as everyone else. We deserve to feel safe in our communities, and we deserve to have a say over the healthcare decisions that affect our lives and bodies. What the Queensland Government has done is they have taken that decision away from these youth. We're here today to send a really clear message that in no place in this country is it okay for ideological positions to override evidence-based healthcare and people being able to choose what they do with their own bodies and lives. So we have a really clear mission, okay? If we don't build a mass movement in this moment and draw a line on the sand on this issue, other states could soon follow. We know that the federal government, We know that Peter Dutton has already been playing politics, feeding into some of the hateful politics that we're seeing coming in from the US. We don't want those here. To oppose this, what we need to do is amp up the pressure on the Queensland Government, Peter Dutton and Anthony Albanese, to reverse this ban and make gender-affirming care accessible and affordable for everyone in the country. So, here are some things we're going to do. There is a bunch of flyers being handed around at some point today. They're also available on our Instagram and social media, Transjustice AU. There is a petition in there where you can send an email and sign the petition to Tim Nichols. There's also phone numbers that they have that we've posted on the Instagram. Encourage you to give them a call today and give them a piece of your mind and tell them what you think of this decision and then putting our youth at risk. The other thing we need to do is that we can't leave this alone. We can't let this die here today. People need to take this further. We need to make sure that state governments all around the country understand that this is an issue for us and that we are ready to burn it down if they don't protect our youth. So, when you go home today, I want you to be reaching out to your MPs, to be seeking meetings with them, to be calling their offices, to be sending them emails. We are not going to let this go. We're going to be releasing actions in the coming weeks that people can take to get involved and ramp up the pressure on this government to overturn this ban and win some trans justice, baby. The last thing I want to leave you with is just how powerful it is to be here together with all of you today. When we started this 9 days ago, we had a few phone calls and had 4 actions on the books. To see this outpouring of support is just phenomenal. We know that the majority of this country is on our side. And actually it is a very small, hateful group of people who fuel these attacks in the media and who are pushing for this legislation. We have a responsibility to leave the world in a better place than it was when we came into it. So let's do what we can for the youth up in Queensland who are right now being rallied around by their own community, with their own rallying cans. Stand in solidarity and let's make sure that they reinstate trans youth healthcare in Queensland and make gender-affirming care accessible and affordable for everyone who needs it. Thank you so much.
We're going to get another huge cheer for Jack and Terry. We're going to be doing some cheers for us as well, and I want Jack to help you out with this one. So we're going to leave, and then I want everyone to pick up. Ready?
Actually, can we get you behind, like, do the film for this one?
Okay, yeah.
Everybody say, hi Neha.
All right. Trans rights are human rights.
Trans rights are human rights.
Protect trans youth with all your might.
Protect trans youth with all your might.
Trans rights are human rights.
Trans rights are human rights.
Protect trans youth with all your might.
Protect trans youth with all your might.
Trans rights are human rights.
Trans rights are human rights.
Protect trans youth with all your might.
Protect trans youth with all your might.
Oh my gosh. I'm loving everyone's energy today. Thank you so much. We have our amazing next speaker. I'm just so proud to introduce Vanessa Turnbull-Roberts. I pronounce her she and her. She's a Bundjalung, Bidjigal and Yuin Elder woman, a human rights lawyer and advocate, and just an incredible person. And we're just taking a moment to allow her to get up to the stage. And while we do that, I think we should keep chanting. Trans rights are human rights.
Trans rights are human rights.
Protect trans youth with all your might.
Protect trans youth with all your might.
Trans rights are human rights.
Trans rights are human rights.
Protect trans youth with all your might.
Protect trans youth with all your might.
What about trans adults? Absolutely. Let's do that once more. Trans rights are human rights.
Trans rights are human rights.
Protect trans people with all your might.
Protect trans people with all your might.
Now it is my great, great pleasure to welcome Vanessa Turnbull-Roberts to the stage. Thank you.
Bundjalung, Vanessa Turnbull-Roberts, my beautiful daughter in my arms right now, Waitui. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the traditional lands that we meet on. This is, was, and always will be Aboriginal land. Sovereignty was never ceded. And we are beneath these two trees right now that are holding all of us here. Holding us all here together, which has existed since pre-colonisation. To my brother boys, my sister girls, and to every single child out there where you are being hunted and attacked and violated, we will not be silent. We will not let that win. We will not let politics use your life as a way to gain political momentum. Not this side, not there. Do you know who my old people are? You will get sick. You will deteriorate. Your spirit will torment you. You see, justice is intersectional. Justice cannot be one thing without the other. We cannot stand on stolen land here and not say free Palestine, Congo, Rohingya over there. We cannot say, I care about your rights, but when a child or young person has their rights deprived, whether it's in prison, in Queensland, ACT, New South Wales, Western Australia, Northern Territory, any state or territory, if there is an attack, what do? We get up and we fight back. My daughter is 3 next week. In 7 more years, you know what New South Wales says? She's old enough to be incarcerated when she still has her baby teeth. So in a time where we are seeing the politics use our beautiful Jarjums, our beautiful children, the family policing system that operates so well in its privatised system to incarcerate our kids into incarceration, and then use black and brown, trans, queer, non-binary community members, my siblings, my aunties, my uncles, and my gunkles, in a time where they are using our people, we must fight back. Let me share one thing with you all. In my culture, my people, we have always had non-binary community members. We've had more relationships than one, and oh my goodness, what a boring world to have one relationship, eh? What a boring world. We've had relationship with each other, with community, with country, and that has existed since the first sunrise. As Aunty Rhonda shared before, every morning grandfather sun rises. It's the first day of the rest of our lives, so we get to start again. And what a beautiful world where that sun rises and we get to hold our children. I only hope, and I seriously hope, that we never stop aiming for that horizon. That we never stop aiming for a sunrise where all of our children are free, where the prison walls are burnt down, where children can run back to their mothers and families are supported, and communities can thrive. And that includes ensuring we do everything in our power to stop people like the politics right now using black, brown, trans, queer, non-binary community members as a political token. Because that's what we're going to see over the next few months. And let me say one more thing. No one fights harder than the trans queer community. This is not a new fight. We should be able to come home and share our meals and dance and be grateful that we're creating a world where all of our children can be free. And I'll tell you what, if someone became between my daughter and I, I'd be going to war myself. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to war with these bastards! You don't have to know a trans or queer person or have children yourself to care about human rights. I studied racism disproportionately impact my community every day. A cemetery, a jail, a local community centre underfunded. I watch the expectations of where they saw our people, in prison or the ground. But let me tell you this, we rise because we have that connection. We remember who we are. As a Bundjalung Bidjigal woman, I say thank you to every trans person that has gone and their spirits that are here with us right now. But I'm excited for this revolutionary moment that we are in. Not just my kids, but our kids. Our children and young people deserve better. Our adults deserve better. Our community members deserve better. So if there's one thing we do, it's let's liberate the voices that have organised today. Let's follow on with the message of applying pressure. Dutton doesn't care about you or I. He's the type of minister that locks Aboriginal people up in the back of a police wagon and drops them off halfway across the road. And to be honest, I'm pretty disappointed in the current leadership. But all I can say is that we are stronger together. So call on each other, call on community, look after each other, and remember that the fight must always be bigger than ourselves, and the picture must be bigger than ourselves. My daughter's running because she's saying, Mom, it's about me. Yeah, it is. It's about our little people, right? I've got to go chase her now. But hey, got power, hands up. We won't stop. Let's keep going. When trans rights are under attack, what do we do? When trans rights are under attack, what do we do? When trans rights are under attack, what do we do? Before we get to our next speaker, our first parents of today, I do just want to shout out to the politicians that are at these rallies today, that are showing up, showing their face and standing in their support of our community. I want to thank Jenny Leong for being here today, and all the politicians that are here at these rallies across this continent. I want to introduce our next speaker. Our next speaker is a parent of Emma. Her pronouns are she and her, who's joining us up on stage to talk about her family. Thank you so much. Give me a huge warm cheer for Emma.
Hi. My name is Emma. My pronouns are she, her, and I am a mother. I'm here today with you all on the Gadigal lands of the Eora Nation, and similar to much more articulate people that have gone before me, I'd like to acknowledge the First Nations people, in particular as storytellers, the first storytellers, and how they use their connection to the land to tell their stories. So I'm going to try and emulate that a little bit and tell you a little bit about my story. I moved to Australia and to the Gadigal lands in 2012. I met my husband on Gadigal lands, I got married on Gadigal lands, I birthed my children on Gadigal lands. And when my children were born, my heart was filled with the dreams and hopes that I had for their futures. I pictured them going to school, going to university, finding a partner, falling in love, having their own families, having fulfilling careers. The Gadigal lands are also where one of my children came out to me as transgender. And as a parent, your entire world in that moment shrinks from all of those dreams that you had to one singular, desperate hope. Please live. Please stay alive. My daughter now is thriving. Thank you. She's almost 9, and gender-affirming care for my daughter has been within my power to give her. It has been dressing how she feels most comfortable. It has been using the name that she feels is her. It is using the pronouns that she believes that are her. Sorry, that was a very bad step. I couldn't believe it, that is her. I'm still learning. And it all sounds a bit clinical and simple, but as any parent of trans children will tell you, it's messy, it's hard. My daughter telling me that she was transgender, it wasn't a simple sentence. Like, she was 5, she didn't have those words. She told me she wished she'd never been born. She told me she didn't want to be alive. She told me I had to hide the knives because she wanted to cut off body parts. She was 5 years old. And we've changed that by allowing her to be her authentic self. As I said, she's nearly 9, so there's going to be a time very soon where it's not entirely within my control, allowing her to, for her to be her authentic self. And I'm terrified. I'm absolutely terrified that we will go back to how she felt when she couldn't be herself. And it's not in the hands of the doctors or the medical professions that she spends hours and hours with already. There's no medical intervention with her, and we already spend hours with these medical professionals and have done for years, and that will continue. But those medical professionals aren't being allowed to make the decisions for her. We as her parents aren't able to help her make decisions and support her being who she really is. It's the politicians who don't know my child and don't know me. They do not love my child more than me. They don't know my child more than me. They don't know her more than all of her whole team of medical support staff do. And they're making decisions for her. Just looking at my notes. I also wanted to touch on the fact that this isn't just about trans youth and the parents of trans youth. This is something that affects every single person in Australia. What they're talking about here is medical professionals not having their right to exercise their own judgment about the needs of individuals that they treat. Politicians want to remove that. We're talking about parents not being trusted to know and love their child better than the politicians do. And we're talking about rolling back the progress of hard fought for rights. I'm lucky that my child is thriving. She can be herself. She's fearless. She's stubborn. She's really annoying. And she's wonderful. Please don't let that stop. Please don't take that away from us. We can't let them do this to us. We can't let them do this to all of us. I truly believe, though, that strength, love, and kindness will win. Thank you.
Hey, ho, transphobia's gotta go. Hey, ho, transphobia has gotta go. Hey, ho, transphobia has got to go. Hey, ho, transphobia has got to go. Oh my gosh, it is my deep pleasure to introduce our next speaker. Our next speaker is a young, proud trans woman. Sunny's pronouns are she and they. Since doing the work and finding the language to share who she is, Sunny has been supported by family and community. She works hard to give a voice to young trans people through sharing her story and working and advocating for change. She was one of the youngest participants of last year's Trans Justice Project retreat and sat on the WISE New South Wales Youth Parliament. We're not advocating for change. She loves taking photos, making films, and collaborating on theatre pieces, and I know we're going to make her feel so welcome this morning.
When I was 10 years old, I came out as trans, and I was lucky. My family supported me, and after a couple of years and a total of 13 medical professionals who all agreed that I had gender dysphoria and that gender-affirming medical care would immensely help me, I started the 100% reversible puberty blockers when I was 12. After a few more years of blood tests and even more doctors, I started on estrogen. And for the first time, I began to look in the mirror and smile at who I am and how I got here. That is to say that this care has infinitely helped me, and so many others to be ourselves. And obviously, with anything that helps young, queer people, a crusty old white man has to come along and ruin it. Enter Tim Nichols, armed with dangerously bigoted misinformation, fear-mongering, and a complete disregard for the lives and well-being of gender-diverse kids. Nichols announced a ban on new patients under 18 for both puberty blockers and HRT. It is not designed to help the 17 people, but instead harm the close to 500 on the wait list who are now unable to access this treatment. This treatment that is estimated to reduce attempts at suicide by approximately 73%. The anti-trans movement has seen a resurgence throughout the last few years. Even in Australia with the growing TERF presence, we need to stop these alt-right ideologies from taking over our lives. Because if you think they'll stop at trans people, you're wrong. We've been seeing this takeover with the normalization of fascist ideologies in the US, and we've been seeing how they have begun to expand their parade of hate towards the greater LGBTQIA+ community and other marginalized groups, and now we see the rising tide of anti-queer rhetoric. We fear for our lives, for our rights, and we are expected to just give up, accept our fate, and quietly let the Trump wannabes in Parliament ruin our futures and dehumanize us? Well, fuck that and fuck them! I'd like to thank every single person who showed up today. It means the world to see that so many people not only support our rights, but will actively fight for them. I'd also like to thank my wonderful parents who supported me along my journey and have been instrumental in organising this rally, as well as the rest of the Trans Justice Project. I cannot express how important it is to know that there are trans-led communities and organisations that are out there and that are there for us. Overall, this treatment has seriously improved my well-being, and I couldn't begin to imagine who I would be without it. That's why it's so painful to see the wave of anti-trans rhetoric, and to know that because of Nichols' poorly made decisions, hundreds of others won't be able to access this help. Thank you.
Specifically to Tim Nichols.
Come on, Tim Nichols, don't be scared. Let the trans youth have free health care. Nichols, don't be scared. Let the trans youth have the free health care. Nichols, don't be scared. Let the trans kids have free health care. Come on, Nichols, don't be scared. Let the trans kids have free health care. Woo!
Please keep that shit going for Sunny. Our next two speakers who are amazing parents. I want to invite Carly and Josh to the stage. Carly's pronouns are she, her, and Josh is a he, him. They are parents presenting together. Josh and Carly are proud parents of 2 kids. Since their daughter let them know she was trans at 10, they have agitated and advocated for young trans folk. They are part of a New South Wales-based advocacy group, Parents for Trans Youth Equity, where alongside other parents, they have participated in political campaigns, policy reviews, submission writing, consultation on and review of parliamentary bills, appearing in Senate inquiries, panel discussions, media work, publishing research, and organising rallies like this one, which is amazing. The group is committed to ensuring that young people have access to the care required and that parents are supported in negotiating these complex pathways. It is my huge pleasure to welcome them to the stage today to talk to you, Carly and Josh.
I just really want to first acknowledge that it's a little bit awkward having a, hetero family standing at a group beer rally. So thank you for allowing us to take up space here. I also want to acknowledge that we're a family who's existing on Gadigal land, and I support both, especially what Aunty Rhonda had to lead us in with today and what Vanessa had to say. And encourage you all to, check your own values there. Unlike others, I have actually written a speech because I'm talking about my children, and I get very emotional when I'm talking about my children. So please bear with me.
Got this.
I want to firstly take the opportunity to acknowledge all the trans folk here today, and thank you as a parent for your advocacy, your visibility, and acknowledge that all of the internal and external work that you have done has had a significant impact on the lives of our children. Thank you for creating the language and the pathways to make our kiddos' journeys easier. To many, your existence is a political act. To me, it is one of pure love and community care. I am so gracious that our kiddo has such strong and fabulous shoulders to stand on. I also want to acknowledge the parents of trans kids out there. When a child invites a supportive parent into their trans journey, they quickly move into the role of an advocate. Sometimes that looks like it does today by making speeches, carrying signs, organising rallies. But more often, it's a whole lot of difficult conversations in playgrounds, classrooms, public toilets, dance classes, and sports clubs. The list goes on. We observe and hear stories where families have had to work incredibly hard to ensure their child can thrive in a safe way. There is a mum here today who earlier this week received a phone call from the school that her daughter was about to start at, stating that she'd no longer be able to use the bathroom that she felt comfortable in. That mum had to pull together support, both legal and emotional, to go into battle for her child's rights. She won. And that kiddo was able to start high school on Thursday, knowing that she could use the facilities that were right for her. Another mum and child were meant to appear here today to give their story, but were advised not to, just last night, for fear of retribution. This is all too common. I hope that today's huge turnout stays with us parents. Next time, we have to go into fight for our kids. I know later there's going to be a group shot, and I'm going to urge all those parents to save that photo, and I'm going to urge you to pull it out next time you have to storm into that principal's office. Next time you have to have a difficult conversation, look at that photo and know who's in your corner. I particularly want us to send a huge amount of love to the 491 plus Queensland families who just last week learned that their children would not be able to access essential medical care. We will continue to fight for your right to access the life-saving treatment that comes after robust and thorough assessment and is delivered through a meticulously managed care plan. My daughter mentioned earlier 13 professionals who all agreed that she had gender dysphoria, but they were the hoops that we had to climb through. We will not let your kids be used for political gain. We will make way for them. We will work to let them thrive, to let them shine, and to be their most spectacular selves, where their trans identity can just be a part of their story and not their single defining feature. When my daughter was 4 years old, I walked into her room and I found her cradling her baby girl. She was sobbing. I said to her, "Sweetheart, what's wrong?" And she said to me, "I'll never be a mama." I didn't realise the consequence of that in that moment. When she was 10 and found the words, it all made so much sense. And it is not going to take a politician telling me that my daughter is not who she is. And just lastly, I want to say one more thing. I'm going to urge you all to go onto Trans Justice Project and look at Project 491. I'm trying to scroll down to see whether I've acknowledged it. Yeah, look at Project 491. It's a project that's been set up to support the families in Queensland. We want to get money to them so that they can access care. For those of you who don't know, accessing gender-affirming care for young people, not subsidised, is costing families about $400 a month. Want to talk cost of living? Yeah, let's talk it. Lastly, I just want to say how incredibly buoyed I am by the huge show of queer love and intense community that I have seen. On the day that it was announced that Trump had won, I literally found myself walking through this square, sobbing and panicked at what my child and loads of others were going to have to experience. I bumped into some friends who might be out there, Sam and Jen, who happened to be facilitating a creative community gathering upstairs for people working in the queer space. I tagged along because I knew that I could not be alone that day. It was there that I realised that the only thing through this mess was radical love and care. For every hideous dog whistle, headline, or executive announcement there has been over the last few weeks, there has been a war cry from community. In the shape of a check-in, an acknowledgement, volunteering at this rally, an offer to prepare food, poster making, letter writing, a coming together to collaborate and organise 20 actions throughout the country. This community is overflowing with love and care, and we have got this. Thank you.
Thanks everyone. I've got the unfortunate task of following two members of my family who know how to speak far more articulately than I do. I'm going to play the straight white male card for a second. It's a strange card to play. I'm going off script. We all know how disastrously that can go if you watch the news. But I'd like to just simply do this, and that is ask each and every one of you one small thing, and that is to call a politician to speak to somebody in their office. It does not need to be the politician. Just going to give the cops a little second here. Very important business. All right. Oh, thanks. So, I spend a lot of time behind a laptop, and I love nothing more than to call politicians and speak to staffers. Because the staffers are the direct line to those politicians, and those politicians are the fuckers who are getting in our way. Alright? They might not mean to, but they are, right? And we all know who they are, and we all know what's coming this way. So either we sit and we wait for it to happen and then we act, or we get in front of it. So let's fucking get in front of it now. Speak to people. Speak with kindness and patience and dignity to them, because they might not know trans people, they might not know parents of trans children, but you can talk to them, you can bridge that divide, and you can tell them what your story is and how their decisions are impacting your life. We do not need that in our life. We need to just get on with existing. That's all the trans community wants to do. That's all everybody in this country wants to do. We just want to be able to live our life, right? But here we are. Here we are having to defend what is everybody's right to just exist, to not have to jump through several hoops determined by small-minded, ignorant, fuckstick politicians who think that for some reason their ideology, their narrow-minded ideology outweighs all the medical evidence. And that medical evidence is significant. We all know that. It's not hard to look at the evidence and go, yes, this is very clear. Gender-affirming care saves lives. It's really that simple. So please, each and every one of you, when you have a minute during the week, call somebody. Call Albo's office, okay? Because you can't actually get through to the Prime Minister in Canberra anymore. It's impossible. But you can call his electorate office. We've just found ourselves in his redistributed grain club. So we'll be having a conversation with somebody in his staff. We'll be doing so kindly and with dignity, because that's who we are. We are kind people who look to treat each other with respect and kindness and equality, right? And that is what separates us from the other side, because the other side only cares about the single individual, the small-minded individual who wants to work on fear and ignorance. And we are bigger than that. We are better than that. So please reach across the divide, speak to Libs, speak to Labor, speak to Greens, speak to Independents, tell your story, and let's get this done. Thank you.
So we are going to take a brief pause to get a photo of everyone here today, so that we have an amazing photograph to show everyone that we're here and that we're loud and what we are demanding. So I'm going to pass over to Jackie to marshal and corral and lead some chants for our photos today.
Awesome. Okay, right. I think we want you, basically, and if you can, like, we want the banner in the photo, right? So below people, so that people can see over it. That'd be great. All right. To make this look really good, we have to get in tight. So everyone, like, take a bunch of steps forward. We want this photo to fill the frame with people, right? So, like, bring it right forward. You can hang on to the banner if you want to as well, and put your hands onto it. We're putting this on social media, so if you don't want to be in the photo, you probably want to duck down here. Bring it forward, fill this gap. Come on, don't let me get in there. Come on. Alright, you're looking good, looking good. Wonderful. If we can fill this gap here. If folks don't want to be right down the front, Des, can you move that and just like move people in? Yeah, just move it. Yeah. Alright, sweet. And can we just get this up just a little straighter? There we go. That's looking so good. How's that looking for photographers? We love it? Yeah? Stand up, fight back, when trans rights are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back! When I say people, you say power. People! Power! People! Power! When I say trans, you say justice. Trans! Justice! Trans! Justice! Alright. We're gonna film this next one. And we're gonna tag Tim Nichols and like all the politicians that we're talking to today in it. So it has to be really slick. So like signs up in the air and everything. Hopefully, you know, this goes mega viral. It's gonna be like, I'm gonna say like a politician's name or whatever, and you're gonna say, protect trans kids. So it'll be like, come on, Queensland, protect trans kids. Yeah? Sounds good? Easy. You only have one line. Alright, let's do one little practice first. Tim Nichols! Protect trans kids! Oh, you're so good. What about Albanese? Protect trans kids! Love it. Alright, that's great. We have a message for the Queensland Government. Come on, Queensland! Protect trans kids! Tim Nichols! Protect trans kids! Krista Foley! Protect trans kids! Peter Dutton! Protect trans kids! Albanese! Protect trans kids! Woo!
You all look incredible today. This is extraordinary. We have one final speaker. I'm going to just do some rearranging with our banners and get comfortable again for our amazing final speaker for the day. I want to welcome, last but certainly not least today, Amao Leota Lu, who's a community advocate and leader. Amao is a proud Samoan Pasifika and Indigenous Pacifica trans woman. Has worked extensively as a trans and gender diverse advocate and consultant for a year in Australia and internationally. She's worked in the fields of community health, education, employment, the arts and radio in the last 31 years. Amao is currently a director, board and advisory member, ambassador for various trans and LGBTQIA+ organisations. And she's best known for infusing and weaving the tapestry of intersectionality of race, culture and gender identity within her talks, presentations and performance works, and I know you're going to make her feel incredibly welcome today.
Hi everybody, can you hear me? First of all, I just want to pay my respects to elders and First Nations people, past and present. My name is Amao, and I'd just like to say, Talofa lava, beautiful family. I stand here in solidarity with our beautiful trans youth and bring you warm, well wishes for my beautiful people and as a member of the Samoan Whakawhine community here on Gadigal land, to encourage the love, strength and pride of our people and that of our amazing trans youth. I'm going to begin my speech today and encourage you all to repeat the following 3 words after me. Protect, protect, protect. 1, 2, 3. Protect, protect, protect. Can I get you to say that louder? 1, 2, 3. Protect, protect, protect. I want you to protect all our sister girls and brother boys youth. I want you to protect o le au whakawhine, whakaleiti, mahu, takatapuhi, rere, and global indigenous trans youth. I want you to protect our Latina, X, Asian, African, and Middle Eastern trans youth. I want you to protect our youth, trans youth from Europe, Caribbean, US, and Pacifica communities. I want you to protect trans youth in your neighborhood, community, both locally, regionally, state, and especially Queensland. I want you to respect them all. I want you to protect them all graciously and how powerfully that you can protect them all. Protect, protect, protect. It is important for us to take this time to regather, regroup, and refocus, and share knowledge, wisdom to empower, and also breathe. As we have seen with the colonial systems that continue to oppress and suppress us, with governments and those in power and with a lot of privilege, as you know, who choose to make unnecessary, uninformed, uneducated, and discriminatory laws that hinder the livelihoods of our trans and gender diverse community. The sentiments from the US are being felt right here with our very own community. I say shame. I say that again, shame. I'm aware of how important trans health care through history, time, and to the present day, to the overall health and well-being of our individuals' journeys, having worked in trans and gender diverse health care once upon a time in the first trans and gender diverse health clinic, Equinox. It definitely was an eye-opener, and I see that it is a life-changing, not just for some of us physically, but also mentally and spiritually. Trans youth care is a fundamental human right. It needs to be affordable and accessible. It's important that where legal laws have allowed us to be who we are safely in the healthcare system, and where it has worked, should not be touched and changed, or just, allow our trans youth and community to grow and get on with life. These trans experiences are valuable and are life-changing, and trans healthcare is life-saving. I encourage you to continue to make yourself aware of the legal standings within government policies pertaining to trans healthcare, and if you haven't already, do make yourself aware of the issues and take up the challenge to do so and do something about it. The very thought of not having adequate health care, also housing and employment for trans youth and community, or for anybody, is a huge kick and letdown to even have basic necessities as a human being. It hinders on our human rights and affects us deeply. Allies and supporters, I ask of you to use whatever privilege you hold and have to aid us in speaking up and speaking out. Your silence will not protect us. Get involved and wrestle the government in Queensland. Reinstate the healthcare for trans youth in Queensland. Please allow our trans youth the power to come into their own power, take up space, and thrive. Support parents, caregivers to take the weight off their shoulders. To our beautiful trans youth, you are all things and everything. And we will continue to fight You hear that? We will continue to fight. For you to put things right and make sure you keep rising through the ashes and continue to be affirmed as you are and want to be. Please, if you see Auntie, come up and say hi and come and get a hug. It's what we do as Pasifika Indigenous people and as Samoans from my culture. Lastly, community, thank you for doing what you can and more of. I finally, as I began my speech, if you can repeat after me, 1, 2, 3. Protect, protect, protect. Louder. Protect, protect, protect. You have the power to change it. Protect, protect, protect. Protect. Thank you.
We are almost at the end of our proceedings for today, but we've got a couple of cheers left to get this energy going into the rest of the day, the week, the year, and let these politicians know what we want, why we want it. So I'm going to lead us in a one final new cheer. I'm going to say, what do we want? And you're going to say, accessible care. And then I'm going to say, when do we want it? And we're going to say, always. You ready? We'll give it a go. We're going to practice one first. What do we want?
Accessible care.
When do we want it?
Always.
What do we want?
Accessible care.
When do we want it?
Always.
What do we want?
Accessible care.
When do we want?
Always.
What do we want?
Accessible care.
When do we want it?
Always.
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 Thank you so much for coming along today, for showing up, for standing up, for being here for trying to bring me this energy at the rally today. As everyone's been saying, there's a QR code going around. Call your politicians. Sign up for the mailing list. The orgs that are doing the work. Support this the 491 group that is raising money for the kids up in Queensland. We're going to keep this energy going, mobilising and letting them know why we want this, and it's because gender-affirming care works, it is evidence-based, and it saves lives. As we wrap up today, make sure you're looking out for the people around you. Make a friend if you haven't already. We're going to make sure everyone gets home safe. It's warm out in the sun, but there's shade around to the side, and there's parks nearby. Make sure you're all feeling good before we all get out into the world. And we're going to finish with one final chant. I'm thinking what it's going to be. Let's go back to what we were just doing. What do we want?
Accessible care.
When do we want it?
Always.
What do we want?
Accessible care.
When do we want it?
Always.
What do we want?
Accessible care.
When do we want it?
Always.
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 Thank you so much everyone for being here today. Have an amazing rest of your weekend. And trans rights forever.
Probably just go back to the
Okay.